Hi guys, I'm Julian Grimm and I've been talking to this camera for so long now that I'm losing my voice. We're gonna keep talking about mixing and mixing the track that my band recorded in the studio some time ago. The first video was about the drums, the second video was about the guitars and the bass, and now we're gonna finally talk about the vocals. So let's jump right into it. The vocals were quite tough to record that day because we got in the studio at the end of a day. It was around I think 6 p.m. Chris was coming in from his job. I was working all day as well. Leia had worked all day as well. So we learned that song on the day, on the spot. We set up the drums, I set up the amps, record everything. We got the instrumental ready and then we had to still record vocals. And it's never good to record vocals when you're tired. But we had to do it that day and we did it. So the vocals don't sound the best, but I think they capture the feeling that we had in that room very well, and they're very honest and they fit the song very well. So even though the recording is not perfect, the vocals are still perfect and I don't want to record it again. So this is how the vocal sounds mixed and with the whole song, everything in there.
I just fell asleep, all that I remember, angel on my seat, where we gonna stop, somewhere like this, angel took my hand, angel gave me a kiss, do I look sad, angel sing this song, tears but I'm happy, nothing going wrong, look into my eyes, angel kill my...
As you can hear, there's two people there, there's me and there's Chris, the bassist, both singing at the same time. He's singing a high octave and I'm singing a low octave. This is how my vocals sound with no processing at all.
All that I remember, angel on my seat, where we gonna stop, somewhere like this, angel touched my hand, angel gave me a kiss, do I look sad, angel sing this song, tears but I'm happy, nothing going wrong.
Not very good, but it's fine, it's fine. This was the first time we were singing this song, we had no idea about the lyrics before that day, we had no idea about anything, we had a limited time. Boy, you can hear how tired I was right there, but still, I think it captured something there, and I liked it. When I put everything together, I liked it. Let's go into the mixing of these vocals. First of all, for every vocal, I like to compress to control the transients a little bit. So this is a very high ratio just to cut my higher volumes and control my vocals a little bit. And very fast attack, not a very low threshold. So it's just cutting the very high notes. Just watch it.
Do I look sad? Angel sing this song, tears but I'm happy, nothing going wrong.
Just cutting the top dynamics for my vocals. Next step, EQ. Didn't have to EQ too much because I did a bit of EQing on the desk that day. As you can see, cut all the lows as usual. You don't need all these lows in your vocals, especially in a punk rock track. And the boxiness out again around 500. You have some of the room sound in there that's not so nice on your vocals and it's just it's unnecessary. It makes a big difference to me to cut a little bit of this mid-range in the vocals. And I got a little bit of a boost here, like a high shelf going on here, but not too much because I don't like my voice to sound too tinny. Kind of like my voice to be more low ending and natural sounding, so not so hyped. So just a little bit of a shelf there. So this is how it sounds without the EQ.
Do I look sad? Angel sing this song, tears but I'm happy, nothing going wrong. Do I look sad? Angel sing this song, tears but I'm happy, nothing going wrong.
See? Very subtle again. Glue compressor. Usually I use two compressors on vocals every time. One just controlling the transients and the other one just hugging the whole vocal track, bringing the performance together a little bit, making the lower bits and the higher bits come a little bit closer together and giving a little bit more character to the vocal. So that's why I use a more transparent compressor for controlling the transients, and I use a compressor with character to bring the vocals together a little bit. So I got the glue compressor in here, which sounds more analog.
Do I look sad? Angel sing this song, tears but I'm happy, nothing going wrong. Do I look sad? Angel sing this song, tears but I'm happy, nothing going wrong.
As you can see, the compression's going quite high here, in between 5 and 10 dBs of compression, but that's okay for rock music. You don't have to be too conservative when you want a nice compressed rock vocal sound. Next step, this is a cool trick right here. This is a de-esser created using the multiband compression. So as you can see, this is the only frequency, the one in the middle is the only frequency that I'm compressing, and it's exactly between 3 and 5 K, which is usually where your sibilance is. I set this up in a way that you can just drag this around and just where your S's are hitting, you're gonna start seeing a little bit of compression bringing them down. So let's just play the track and you see where the S's come in, you're gonna see the number for the compression kicking in.
Do I look sad? Angel sing this song, tears but I'm happy, nothing going wrong. Look into my eyes, angel kill my sins, this is why you love me, this is what I need.
This is without the de-esser.
Do I look sad? Angel sing this song, tears but I'm happy.
With?
Do I look sad? Angel sing the song. Tears, but I'm happy. Nothing going wrong.
So as you can see, it's just controlling this S frequency here. And every time an S that's too strong hits, it brings it down. You can see the compression value down here. It's a bit higher and it's taking that S down. The next step, it's the Julian Vox Rec, which is a preset that I made in Ableton, which has a bunch of parallel processing for your vocals. I have the clean sound of my vocals coming through, the main sound.
Do I look sad? Angel sing the song. Tears, but I'm happy. Nothing going wrong.
I have saturation right here, which is just a touch of saturation to give a bit more harmonics and body to my vocals.
Do I look sad? Angel sing the song. Tears, but I'm happy. Nothing going wrong.
Makes the vocals a little bit more punky as well, doesn't it? A little bit more aggressive. I have a wide chain right here, which is just a flanger actually, and it just makes the vocals sound a little bit wider, a little bit fatter, not just central and thin in the middle.
Do I look sad? Angel sing the song. Tears, but I'm happy. Nothing going wrong.
Sounds crazy on its own, but it makes sense when you put it down, all this way down in the mix. It just adds a little bit of width to your vocals. That's it. I have the delay in here. Some people like to use the delay on the return tracks. Sometimes I put the delay here as parallel processing, just because that way when I put the reverb as a return track, the delays are going to the reverb as well, so everything's together. I have a longer delay.
Sad. Angel sing the song. Tears, but I'm happy.
When you're using echo, this is a very cool plugin in Ableton because you can very simply set the speed of your delay to your song. You can sync it to your song, and they have this tab here called character where you can turn on the ducking, and by lowering the threshold of the ducking, the delay is only gonna show up when you're not singing. So once you finish singing, the delay comes up. When you start singing, the delay turns down, so it doesn't interfere with your original vocals. It only comes up when the delay is supposed to come up. So that's exactly what you want from a delay. You don't want it to interfere with your vocals. Usually you would have to automate that, or you have to create like a sidechain to make that happen. But in Echo, you can do it in there. It's super cool. The next one is just a slap delay, which is a faster delay to make a little bit of a room sound really, and thicken your vocals a little bit, make them sound more natural as if they're not like being sang right into a mic, they're in a room somewhere.
Do I look sad? Angel sing the song. Tears, but I'm happy. Nothing going wrong.
And also the difference in timing between each side. If you put the delay equally on each side, it's gonna sound super centered. If you make the delay a little bit different on each side, it's gonna sound wider as well. So this is how it sounds without my Vox Rec.
Do I look sad? Angel sing the song. Tears, but I'm happy. Nothing going wrong.
This is with the Vox Rec.
Do I look sad? Angel sing the song. Tears, but I'm happy. Nothing going wrong.
And finally, in the end, I have a limiter just to make sure that everything is nice and together and compressed and not going overboard. So just a limiter for safety and make the vocals even a bit more present in the track.
Do I look sad? Angel sing the song. Tears, but I'm happy. Nothing going wrong. Do I look sad? Angel sing the song. Tears, but I'm happy. Nothing going wrong.
It glues everything together a bit more. It makes everything more present as well. And when you put it in the mix, it's gonna help your vocals come out on top. For Chris's Vox, I did exactly the same thing as mine. The EQ is a bit different because he has a different voice, obviously. Everything else is the same. And I have this low Vox right here, which is just a transitional bit of the song, really.
Angel, be nice, Angel, I'm back. Angel, be nice, Angel, I'm back.
And to get this effect, I just went nuts on all the parallel processing. So the clean chain for my parallel processing is all the way down, and all my parallels are all the way up. So the saturation is all the way up, the width is all the way up, the delay is all the way up. I wanted this vocal to sound weird and roomy and reverby. And the other thing that I did to separate it from the other vocals, I EQ'd it with the famous telephone trick. Like I cut all the lows, most of the highs, just mid-range in there to make it sound more of like a Node radio or a Node telephone would sound, you know? So that's it. This is a cool trick.
Angel, be nice, Angel, I'm back. Angel, be nice, Angel, I'm back. Angel, be nice, Angel, I'm back. Angel, be nice, Angel, I'm back.
As you can hear as well, I sing super close to the mic to give a weird, intimate sound, but there was too much low end in there. So having this telephone EQ here also helps get rid of the massive low end that we had in there. Compression's all the same. As I said again, the audio effect rack, I'm just going nuts on every chain and removing the clean chain. And I have this one extra plugin. It's a Max for Live plugin. It's called Color. It comes with Ableton Live Suite. I'm not sure if it comes with the other versions of Ableton, but it's very cool because you can add some crackle. You can also change the age of your recording, so that gives it even more of a nose cool sound. It has wobble in there, which makes it sound like a record that's kind of like not maintaining its speed on the turntable too well. And it's cool. It makes it sound more vintagey, and it's good on vocals for like bridges or special sections of your song for sure. So this is how it sounds without the plugin.
Angel looping nice, Angel I'm back. Angel looping nice, Angel I'm back.
And this is with
Angel looping nice, Angel I'm back. Angel looping nice, Angel I'm back.
As you can hear, it just ruins the sound, and that's what I needed for this section of the song, a crappy vocal sound. And that's it. I have my master chain in here, nothing too complicated, a little bit of a smile curve on a channel EQ, a little bit of glue compression to glue the master together, more saturation because it brings more energy, more harmonics. I put it there also because when you mix your track in a console or in analog gear, the analog summing always gives a bit of saturation and harmonics. They are quite nice, so I use the saturator plugin to give me just a little bit of that. As you can see, I'm leaving it quite low in the dry and wet knob, but it's just a touch of saturation. You don't want to put too much saturation on your master bus. And the color limiter, which is also a Max for Live plugin, but I think it comes with most versions of Ableton Live. If I play the song, you're gonna see I'm not doing too much compression on it.
Angels sing this song, tears but I'm happy, nothing going.
It actually says no compression on it, but I like this plugin for the saturation and the color knobs. It gives a little bit more of an analog sound to your track, and it's made for buses, so it's not as aggressive as the saturator, and you can go a little bit more crazy on these knobs here and get a really cool analog sound, even if you don't have like an expensive plugin that does the same. And finally, the limiter, of course, just to make sure your song doesn't hit over 0 and doesn't clip, and also to bring everything together a little bit more. And that's it.
Angels sing this song, tears but I'm happy, nothing going wrong. Look into my eyes, angel kill my sins. This is why you love me, this is what I need. Well, guess what I am?
Angel looping nice, Angel I'm back. Angel looping nice, Angel I'm back.
So I'm gonna leave a link for you to listen to this track if you want, and I hope you guys liked this series. It was very fun for me to go through a track that wasn't perfectly recorded and show you guys how I would mix it only using Ableton plugins. Also, I have this little gift for you guys. Remember when I talked about the Julian Vox rack? I'm gonna leave a link below for you guys to download this Vox rack for free. It's just a preset. Don't just stick on your tracks, expect it to do anything magical. So just play with it, it's cool. Use it to start grasping the concept of using the effect racks for parallel processing and have some fun. I'm gonna leave a link below. You click on the link, put your email in there, and I'm gonna send a free download for you guys. I promise I'm not gonna do anything weird with it. I'm not gonna send you nude pictures. Don't worry, only if you personally ask. But if not, you're not gonna have any unsolicited weirdness from me. You're gonna get this preset for free so you can have some fun, or you can just copy the settings from the screen as well from this video if you want. And if you want me to do these kind of mixing videos with other plugins such as Slate Digital or Waves or whatever that I can get my hands on, let me know in the comments below and I'd be happy to try and do it. And if you like what I do, please press all the things that help me in the world, and I see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Like this, angel took my head, angel gave me a kiss. Do I look sad? Angel sing this song.